Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Yo, what is up, guys? Sean Cho here. Today I'm bringing you guys a video on 5 things I love about my BMW E92. So let's get started. So starting off with number 5 would have to be the styling of this car. The styling is so, I wouldn't say it's extremely modern, but it's still pretty modern. A lot of people, they do get confused. I tell them it's 2008 and they get kind of confused, like, wait, what? I thought it was 2013. I thought it was 2014. No one really believes that it's 10 years old. The styling is still really, really well. Now this is on the E92. Even the E90, my brother has an E90 of 2010, so it's a LCI model. It still looks really, really modern, but I'm speaking specifically on the E92, the styling of this car. And that's another reason I picked this, because of the styling, the headlights, taillights, everything looks different from the standard E90, and it looks really modern. It looks really, really sleek, really cool, and looks like a nice BMW. And the interior isn't completely old, but it's not really extremely modern, but it's still pretty good for the year. For 2008, it has this really nice dash. I have the navigation, so it kind of makes, I like the dash with the navigation on it. I like the whole setup. I think it makes it look really cool, really nice, and just like the way the interior is, it's still pretty new, pretty modern. All right, guys, so moving on to number 4 would have to be the engine. Mine is a 335, so it is the inline twin turbo inline 6 engine, which produces 300 horsepower, 300 pound-feet of torque, and I love this engine. This car is so freaking fast. This is I'm coming from 2 vehicles. So I had a 2.5 liter straight 6 before this, and then I also drove my brother's 3 liter straight 6. He has a 2010 E90, 328i, and I thought those cars were extremely fast. And once I sat in this car, it was a game changer. I instantly fell in love with the power this car produces. Just stock, this car can beat like 90% of the cars on the road nowadays. I think the 0 to 60 for this car is like 4.9 seconds or 5.1 seconds, somewhere around there, which is still really freaking fast. All right, guys, so moving on to number 3 would have to be the way this car drives. I love the way this car drives. This car handles like a train, especially if the suspension, everything's right. My car sits a little bit higher than normal cars because it is an XI. Funny enough, it's actually just snowed yesterday, about I'd say a couple inches, and in the wintertime, this car, it gives me so much confidence. The XI system, it gives me so much confidence in the snow. The car barely slips. It's like I'm driving on regular pavement when I'm driving in when I'm driving the car in the snow. Let me show you guys. You can see that there's still a little bit of snow outside. Most of it melted away. It's getting a little bit warmer, but yeah. And the way this car handles, taking corners, there's minimum body roll. It gives me so much confidence. It's a bad thing, because I'm gonna start doing really stupid things, taking corners at 120 miles an hour. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Especially the XI. The XI handles a little bit different than the rear wheel drive. It literally pulls you out of a corner. It's amazing. But yeah, and this car has power steering, not electric steering. It has power steering, which makes it that much better. Because of the electric steering, I hear nowadays, it feels really artificial. Granted, you can change it. You can change it from soft to medium to really hard. But a lot of people say it feels artificial, and this car still has the original power steering. And I love that about this car. All right, guys, so moving on to number 2 would have to be the tunability of this car. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of the N54 engine. The tunability of this car is like amazing, and the support of this engine is amazing, with the mods, the bolt-ons, everything you can do with this car, the tunes, intakes, all that kind of stuff, intercoolers. There's a lot of support. A lot of things you can do to upgrade the engine, to make it faster, to put on more horsepower, to make it run a lot better, which is one thing I love about this car. You can easily get an intercooler, downpipes, intakes, and a tune for under probably $2,000, $1,500 if you want to. $2,000 if you want to get really, really expensive stuff. $1,500 if you're on a budget, and you could easily push out 450 wheel horsepower just by putting on a couple bolt-ons. And then if you're really serious about power, for $5,000 to $7,000, you can go single turbo on this car and push out 500 to 600 horsepower. That's amazing. That's without even changing anything in the engine, because I believe correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe the internals of this engine do come forged. Some of the internals on this engine do come forged, which is why you don't have to change the internals. You can just throw on a single turbo and not have to worry about it, which I think is amazing. Like, I really can't think of any other car where you could throw on a huge turbo like that and not have to worry about the engine just grenading on you. Of course, every engine has its limits. Of course, this engine has its limits, but I remember seeing a YouTube video of a guy who had a 800 horsepower N54 engine. Nothing changed on the internals. All he did was stick a big single turbo kit on the engine. 800 freaking horsepower. That is insane. But yeah, just to sum it up, yeah, the tunability on this car is amazing. You can do so much to this car and push out so much horsepower. But yeah, that would have to be my second favorite. All right, so moving on to number one. Drum roll, please. Would have to be that my car is a 6-speed manual. Now, that is my number one thing I love about this car. I was so close to getting automatics. I was ready to give up because I couldn't even find a good manual with what I wanted, the specs, with the navigation, with this and that, heated seats, blah 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 blah. I finally found the exact spec I wanted with the 6-speed manual, so that has to be my number one thing. I love driving this car. It's a love-hate relationship, but I love it way more than I hate it. Of course, sitting in traffic, of course you're not gonna want it. Of course you're not gonna like a manual. Who likes driving a manual in traffic? I never heard anyone say, yes, this is so much fun, I'm stuck in traffic with the manual. Never heard anyone say that. When you're not stuck in traffic, when you're taking back roads, when you're on the highway, cruising and going fast, and the shifting through the gears is so much more engaging, it's so much more fun. And that's the number one thing I love about this car, is that it's a 6-speed manual. Because a lot of the newer BMWs, I believe they're completely just cutting out the manual transmission, which I get why, because the automatics that are coming out, especially the dual clutch transmissions that are coming out, are just so much quicker than someone shifting. So before you can even press in the clutch, that transmission already shifted gears. It's like milliseconds. So I can see why that all the newer performance cars are coming with dual clutches and not manuals. This manual transmission is my number one favorite thing. I love it, hate it, love it more than I hate it. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'm definitely gonna be putting out a lot more videos on my E92 because I did buy a couple months ago, and I have so much more things coming for this car: cosmetic mods, tunes, engine work, all that kind of stuff. Because it is a BMW and it does break all the time. I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, rate, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't